I think we're live.
I believe so. We are. Let's give people a few minutes to join.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm going to, yeah, we are live. I got confirmation. Woohoo, we did it. Yeah, all right. So I'm just playing with the layout here a little bit. There, that might be better. How's that?
I like it.
I like that. Okay. So I think we could just start with our intro here and tell people why we're here, what Mindful Mondays on Fridays is all about. What? Wait, Mindful Mondays on Fridays?
Yeah, I mean, what better a day to start something fun like this than on a Friday, even though we are going to be doing this on, is it the third Monday of every month?
That's the intention, yes. Working with other people's schedules, of course, but the intent is Monday. At a minimum, it's going to be a Monday.
Awesome. And it definitely will not be a mundane Monday.
No, not. I'm expecting engaging, fun, and a lot of curiosity and a lot of questioning for sure.
Yeah, and I'm excited for the questions that are going to roll in from people. And so, we'll go over this again as well as we officially kick off in 2 minutes here, but I'll be moderating questions as they come in and trying to read those out. But no, I'm excited for everything that we're going to be talking about, not just on this call today, but as we continue Mindful Mondays into the future. I know we have a few lined up already with great content and great topics.
Yeah, that's right. So I'll back up the bus a little bit and just talk about why I'm doing this. I think that there's a lot of folks out there who are looking for additional support, HR support, and that's my background in human resources. And the intent with Mindful Mondays is to engage with subject matter experts on all things related HR, whether it's workplace wellness, which is a passion of mine, whether it's career-related stress, whether it's conversations around the thing that we've been living with, this thing called the world pandemic. But ultimately, it's about having conversations where we can create healthier human beings and sustainable workplace cultures.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's so timely now, and not just, with the pandemic and everything, but I look at how where we are as a corporate world today and where we are in 2021 and how things are just progressing and moving forward. And I think it's so timely now to be having a lot of these conversations for organizations and helping leaders navigate some of these murky waters at times.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really murky, right? Mm-hmm. I was just talking about with a group of human resources professionals. I'm a member of the Chartered Professionals of Human Resources of British Columbia and Yukon, and we were just talking about, vaccinations, mandating, not mandating. How do we manage this as HR professionals and leaders in the workplace? Like it's a big, it's a big deal. And frankly, we don't have all the answers, so how can we learn from others? Are you there, Ahmed? May have lost you, Ahmed. Yeah. Okay. Are you here, Tara? Hey.
Hear me?
Oh, there we are. Yes, I am here, so I can back up Ahmed. Not nearly as eloquent, but I could if he freezes again.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes. Now we can, yes.
Oh, okay. That was weird. I don't know what happened with the audio there. Let's jump right into it. It's 10:01 a.m. in Calgary, Alberta over here for Mountain Time. 9 a.m. over in BC for yourself, Michelle. What do you think? Should we give everyone another minute, or are we ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's do it. Oh, I think we might be having some tech issues with Ahmed, but that's okay. He'll join us when he can.
I think we can just introduce what is Mindful Mondays really quickly, and then introduce Ahmed, yourself, myself. So if he's frozen, we can easily keep the ball rolling. No worries there.
Yeah.
Am I still frozen?
No, you're good.
I'm good now? Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was the audio interfering. If I need to, I will stop my video and maybe that'll help. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Technology, right? Yeah.
Of course. Okay, so what I was saying is hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining today and taking the time out to be with us. This is Mindful Mondays. I'm your host, Ahmed Rammay, and we have Michelle Precourt with us here today, who is the mastermind, if you will, behind all of this. And today's topic is going to be managing self and others, a discussion on leadership responsibility. So before we actually jump into the content, Michelle, do you want to do a quick intro of what is Mindful Mondays? What are we doing here and what is this all about? And maybe address the elephant in the room. Today is Friday, not Monday.
Thank you for pointing that out, my friends. Yes, thank you. So the intention was to just pivot off of my business name, Mindful HR Services, and let's have a conversation on Mondays, Mindful Mondays. Let's make it a Mindful Monday conversation. Well, we were supposed to go live earlier this week. Technology won that battle. Has not today, because here we are, folks. We are live. And but the intention is to meet with subject matter experts on a regular basis. We're looking at, maybe the third Monday of every month. It might be more than that. We'll, work with other people's schedules. But ultimately, the intention is to bring in subject matter experts like Tara to talk about things that they're passionate about. And all of this is in and around HR related topics, and this can be really, really broad. So things like career related stress, things like healthy workplace cultures, things like the big thing like the pandemic and managing masks and vaccinations, and these really sometimes what can be really big. But I think the more that we talk about these things, we can recognize that we don't have all the answers. We can leverage collective wisdom, which I'm hoping to do today with you two, and share knowledge to create healthier workplace cultures, and one that we can really sustain for long term. We're all here for the long term.
That is amazing. I love the idea behind this. When Michelle approached me, I thought it was really timely and really great for everything that's going on, kind of not just in the pandemic, but I was saying earlier in that it's 2021 and it's high time we talk about a lot of this stuff and help our leaders navigate some of these murky waters. I'm going to jump into some quick intros here for both Michelle and Tara. So Michelle Precourt of Mindful HR Services is an HR consultant and workplace mindfulness facilitator based in Squamish, BC. In her private practice, Michelle offers mindfulness techniques driving employee engagement, productivity, and workplace success. In addition to studying various yoga and meditation teachings, Michelle's educational highlights include University of Manitoba, a certificate in human resource management, Royal Roads University, Neuroscience and Leadership and Career Professionals of Canada, and she is a certified work-life strategist. So welcome. Tara, who is our lovely guest today. Tara Adams is the owner of Abridge Consulting. Her specialty is bridging the gap to achieve workplace mental health, and her motto is, let's get more people, more help, sooner. Tara has been working in the workplace mental health space for almost 10 years. And you have myself here as kind of I say talking head, but I'm being called a host today. My name is Ahmed Rammay, and I'm with Marketing by Rammay, and I help small and medium-sized businesses leverage their internal knowledge to tell their brand story and to really develop a marketing strategy and be able to reach their marketplaces. So that is us. Let's jump into the content. We have a lot to discuss today and a short window. So for everyone here, the chat is open. Please drop your questions in the comments. You can join the conversation with us today by doing so. And
it's okay. We have the questions.
Did you lose me again?
It was a quick one.
Oh, okay. I'm back. Am I back?
Yep.
I'm going to call TELUS after this.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the questions. As a leader, what tactics do you take to manage emotions? And does that matter? So Tara, why don't you take this one away?
And I'm going to try to be less descriptive and ramble on because of our short time. So I have 3 bullet points for this. And if anyone wants to elaborate, reach out to me afterwards and keep the conversation going. So in leadership, talking about emotion and workplace mental health, the first is a mouthful. Leaders need to create psychological health and safety. The simple way to say that is everyone on your team feels safe and feels heard. Sounds simple, takes time. The second one is to really have clear and honest conversations. And I'm asking leaders to be a little more obvious than they might need to be. If you think your team knows that you support them, if you think your team knows they have permission to take care of themselves, try being really explicit and see the reaction you get. And my third thing is to notice and initiate one-on-one conversation, especially the informal ones. There's a lot of research coming out, and it's exciting around the small moments that matter. In your own life, try to reflect back on the moments or the things that someone said to you. It might not be in a formal one-on-one meeting with my leader. It could be a casual comment. So psychological health and safety, being more obvious and clear with your team, giving them permission, and initiating one-on-one conversations, particularly the informal ones.
Awesome. I love that you hit on the psychological health and safety as well, because I think, as you said, it's a mouthful, but it's so important to organizations and leaders to really take that into account. And it's actually kind of a nice tie into what Michelle might talk about. And so over to you, Michelle. What do you think about this?
Yeah, emotions do matter. We are human beings. We can't have one without the other. Emotions do matter. And the other part of this is leader vulnerability. If a leader can demonstrate that emotions are okay, and there's a balance there, 100%, there's a balance there. We need to be professional. We need to be respectful. But when a leader demonstrates that maybe they're not having a bad day, it opens up the door for others to say that they're not having a good day either. The other big part of this is, and I'm a big promoter of this, is prevention. So what do you need to get through your day? Something as simple as this. Before I came live here, I sat back and I just took a couple of deep breaths, grounding before going live, grounding before entering into what might be a difficult conversation, or doing the things that you need to do to take care of yourself, whether it's getting out into nature, whether it's playing with your dog, whether it's, frisbee, skiing, hiking, whatever it is. Working that into your life and taking care of you so that you can present your best self.
That's amazing. I love that perspective there of doing things for yourself and, really elaborating on what that self-care can look like. And it can come in so many different forms. So let's jump into our next question here. And it's how can organizations create a culture that allows for pausing? So I know you kind of just alluded to taking that moment to pause. So maybe you can build on that further, Michelle. Let's have it over to you. And maybe you can also address too that it's okay to stop and reach out and ask for support when you need it.
Yeah. Again, this goes back to positive leader role modeling, that if you see your leader doing these things like stopping, like pausing, like stepping away from their desk, like shutting down at the end of the day, then employees are going to follow suit. So on the flip side, if you say that, it's okay, you don't have to work this weekend, but I'm going to send you some stuff. It's probably mixed messaging, right? I've seen some great comments from people that I've worked with in their organizations where their manager has said, guys, I got to go. I have a therapist appointment, or I've got to go. This is my gym time, or I'm stopping now because it's now time for me and my family. Simple things like this. It's like the real life conversation stuff, not what's in the policies. The policies are important, but it's the real life stuff that people can relate to and resonate with, and then it just becomes second nature.
Right. And, you know, that whole idea of, you know, what you just said there about it becoming second nature, I think that's something that we need to incorporate into everyone's being, not just leaders, but the people as well that are a part of those interactions, and the people that they're managing or, you know, leading as a team, or if they're just even informal leaders or what have you in someone's life. We are getting some comments in the chat here. I'm just going to list a couple before we go over to Tara here, but one person has said, even leaders who want to practice emotional intelligence have little, if any, time to practice emotional intelligence themselves. And I think that's kind of key to this whole conversation in terms of that self-awareness. You know, it's one thing to talk about it, but you need to be a role model for it as well. Anyway, so Tara, what are your thoughts around this? How can organizations create that culture that allows for pausing?
Well, I agree with the comments in the chat, and I agree with Michelle. So just to bullet point quickly to the culture of pausing, first of all of our behavior is contagious. It's a fact. Every one of us is a role model, and in particular, people leaders. So if in fact you are saying you should pause, should log off, but you're not, it's more than a mixed message. It's sabotaging your credibility, because you're saying do one thing and you're not doing the other. The second is bigger, harder, take some time. You have to change your mindset that a break, a pause, whatever you want to call it, fuels productivity. Taking a break, pausing is good for business, productivity, retention, engagement, mental health, physical health, and everything else. So if you still are of the mindset that when people take a break, they're less than or weak, flip that to my highest performers take breaks. Flip it and model it. And then my last thing on this culture of pausing is, how would your team feel if you did or said some of the great examples Michelle had? It's 3:30 and I'm heading to the gym. What if you said that to your team? How would that feel? How would they feel? And so that's my rhetorical question for you.
You know, I'm going to hit on what you said earlier about the well-being in the workplace fuels productivity, and that kind of goes back to that rhetorical question as well. And I love that idea of, if we're feeling good in the office, then you're having less of those head down moments, those face in the palms, the head scratchers, the moments of pause where you're not feeling well, but you're actually having a flip of a, you know, because if we're not having well-being in the workplace in that way where you can take a pause, you're taking a pause in another way, which is going to negatively impact you. Yep. And it's not going to increase productivity. So that's really important that we hit on it. There is a personal accountability and responsibility when it comes to emotions in the workplace. But what about those that need external support? Can you, Tara, maybe tell me, what are some of the telltale signs that it is time to bring in help?
Well, this is usually a 7-hour course. So top of my head. So as a leader, your accountability, your responsibility is to notice changes, the delta. If you don't know your staff, you can't notice a change. So that's 4 hours into one sentence. And then the next thing is, if you haven't had a lot of workplace mental health training, notice changes and notice the timeline. So if you do know me and things have changed, is it a one-off? Has it been a couple of days? Versus, you know me, things have changed. It's been a few weeks. It's not changing back towards a more healthy pattern. So my advice is notice changes and notice the timeline. And also, by the way, if there are parameters and guidelines within the workplace. So when I talk about workplace mental health, everything falls within a company's code of conduct. And so accountability for leaders is to maintain and uphold a code of conduct regardless of any mental, physical, or other illnesses that may happen. So I know that's 8 hours into 80 seconds, but those are my top 3.
Got it. I think we're all certified now. But no, definitely that, I mean, not to put in a plug here, but I think that course would probably be very meaningful. And I love what you said there about the listen, connect, and basically check in, because that is so important. I know it sounds so basic, but it's something that really speaks to what leaders can be doing. And it's very easy. It's not something hard to do, you know, as long as you do it in an appropriate way. Michelle, what are your thoughts around this? What do you think?
Yeah, there's a big part of listening here. And so listening for any anecdotal information that is coming through. If the last 3 people that you talked to said, oh, it's such a busy time, feeling a lot of pressure, going back to what you were saying there, Tara, about, is this a cyclical thing? Because there are certain business cycles that are busy. And so how can we prepare for that? What can we do, again, going back to this prevention, to prepare for that, the big push? The other part of it is look at your data and your metrics. Look at any data around usage of sick time, your EFAP programs, information like, are people actually taking vacation? A lot of people haven't been doing a good job of that. And I understand why. They haven't been doing a good job of that in these last 18 months because there was nowhere to go, right? Why am I going to take vacation if I can't go anywhere? But stepping away, that could be a cause of an uptick in sick time, an uptick in these anecdotal conversations that you're hearing about how people are really feeling overwhelmed. Look at your data.
Mm-hmm. The data is so very telling. And, I think those assessments are something that can be so helpful and meaningful, not just for self, but to inform those around you as well. Because of those results, you can maybe, if you're comfortable, share some of that of, this is what I need from you. And it's so important to say that statement, this is what I need from you, as opposed to staying silent and hoping people can read your mind and maybe, you expect them to know or what have you. If you could only do one thing to support mental health and workplace well-being, what would that be, Michelle?
Start with the leaders. Let's get the leaders on board. Let's help them understand what a positive role modeling looks like. Let's start there.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Positive role modeling all the way. Tara, how about you?
And not to put undue extra pressure on leaders. Throw them a life raft. How do you do that? So don't just say it and then leave them out on their own, drowning in the work and the leadership and the people responsibilities. And also, by the way, I'm fixing workplace mental health. Throw them a life raft. Sorry, I had to add that one. My final comment was going to be try to keep it simple. It's not easy, but do keep it simple. Do less and do it well. And if we ever do another Mindful Monday, my answer would be onboarding. But that's a whole another at least 15 minutes.
And one thing that comes to mind with this when I think of just the general workplace well-being side of this is there's such a huge business impact. When you think of the costs that are associated with either sick time or employees not being productive or whatever that might be, but there's so much cost that can be associated that can be positively affected by doing some of these things that we've talked about today that would eventually or essentially help the bottom line of some of these companies. I'm just going to check in on the comments here and see if there's any additional questions or comments that have come through. There's been a few, so I love the engagement and the conversation that's happening in the chat here. Just reloading the page, so let's see if anything has come in. Jeff says, I like Adam Grant's comment. Resting is not a waste of time. It's an investment in well-being. Relaxing is not a sign of laziness. It's a source of energy. Breaks are not a distraction. They're a chance to refocus attention, and play is not frivolous activity. It's a path to connection and creativity. And I love it. I can wholeheartedly agree with that in terms of that it helps the synapses. When you have a clear mind, you can get more creative, you can get more productive, you can do way more with that. Do either of you want to take a quick comment on that before we end time here?
Yeah, just 100% agree. And thank you for sharing your insights, Jeff, because I think we need more people to say it's okay to take a break. So thanks for that, Jeff.
Awesome. We are at time. We tried to keep this to a short window. We went over a little bit, and we will tighten that up, I think, for the next one. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined today, who took the time out to go live with us. Thank you to Tara for being here with us today and taking time out of her busy schedule and rescheduling with us as we experience some technical difficulties. Michelle, of course, thank you for putting this together and bringing all of us together. We're looking forward to the next Mindful Monday, which is September 13th. That's with Allison Graham, author of Take Back Your Weekends. I need to be a part of that session for sure, because I need to take back my weekend. So good thing I'm booked. Energy management versus time management. So I'm excited to have that conversation with all of you. And yeah, looking forward to the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you both. And there's one, I don't know if you saw this comment in here about resources at the end.
Yes.
So we could probably throw in Tara's contact information in there. That would be great. And a bit of a plug, I do have a newsletter that I publish once a month. So we could throw that information in there as well, so that we can all stay connected and continue the conversation around leader responsibility. Thank you once again. Pleasure speaking with both of you. And until next time, be well.